Today, the day of this recording in 1830, Tom Thumb, the first locomotive built in the United States, loses a 9-mile race in Maryland to a horse.
Welcome to What the Fuck History, a podcast where we discuss the weirdest and wackiest incidents that make us say, well, what the fuck history? I am your wannabe Indiana Jones, Zachary.
I'm Megan, and even though I majored in history, that doesn't necessarily mean I know anything that's going on.
And I'm Matt, and I can get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Pop in 200 licks flat. So suck on that, Purdue University. Which brings me to our first story tonight. Okay, so that commercial, and I think we all know the commercial that I'm talking about, came out in like late 60s, early 70s, I guess, 1970s, not like 1770s. But it's the how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Tootsie Pop?
Yeah, the
How
OG
many, Mr.
one.
Owl?
Yeah. And, the world may never know. And I guess it has plagued the minds of scholars and students alike because in 2004, a group of engineering students from Purdue University built what they dubbed the licking machine, which was meant to simulate a human tongue.
That sounds pretty sexy.
It does sound sexy. And if you think that's sexy, it gets sexier. They tested this licking machine on a Tootsie Roll Tootsie Pop and found that on average it took 364 licks from this licking machine to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop. However, not thinking that was far enough, the good scholars at Purdue University then got a group of 20 volunteers to try, unassisted by machinery, and they averaged 252 licks to get to the center. So, something ain't right.
I just, imagine this line of college students, lined up, right, and furiously licking as fast as they can to get to the center.
Right, exactly.
Okay, did they have water on hand for the tongue cramps? That's an important question. And the other question is, less of a question and more of an observation is, some of them were sucking on that, which is against the rules and totally dishonorable, but that would explain why it's less licks.
Yeah, all of the research studies that I've read pertaining to this don't say anything about water on hand for the tongue cramps, and I think any decent man or woman knows that those do happen and are a thing.
Yeah,
you gotta stay hydrated.
Gotta stay hydrated, and I think Megan alluded to it, but I think another big question I have is, how long did it take for one dumbass, horny engineering student to just turn this into a sex robot?
Yeah, no, it's true though. As soon as one kid was just I'm building a licking machine, and they were like, oh, pray tell, for what reason? He was just like, oh, to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Pop for science. To get to the
center of a Tootsie Roll Pop.
And you got his roommate in the background. Them. Yeah, his roommate in the back room be like, okay. Oh boy, a licking machine. Ooh.
So I will say that I'm looking at diagrams of the licking machine.
They have diagrams. Oh my god.
It's not like a full-blown diagram. I'll say it's a sketch.
Okay.
But it's essentially just an automated pulley system that rotates a wheel that has a bunch of sponges on it that are the same width of the average human tongue.
Do they have to manually wet the sponges? Is this a weird water mill of sponges?
It's essentially a water mill, but it doesn't show in any diagrams where the sponge re-waterifies. That's not a word.
Moistens itself.
Hydrates.
Yeah, where it hydrates.
Where the tongue, the faux tongue rehydrates.
Yeah.
So the craziest thing though is that this is not the first of these studies to be done. And the University of Michigan, not wanting to be outdone, also decided to make a licking machine. And by the way, if anyone's looking for this information, you can find it on the Tootsie Roll website, where they have an entire tab for the how many lick experiments.
Is there also like a hidden hyperlink to get to the inevitable line of sex toys that were then derived from these very important studies?
I've been digging for quite some time, and I have not found that hyperlink. But if I find it, I'll bring it up on a.
No, you have to call like a secret line, right? Like you have to. It's like you need a decoder ring for like the article on that tab, and then you get a secret number, right? And you have to call it and say the password, and then someone gives you the URL.
You're gonna find out that someone on the project ended up heading and streamlining the Auto Blow, the world's best automated blowjob machine. Actually a thing. Look it up.
So the University of Michigan's machine that they built had an average of 411 licks to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop. And then, shockingly enough, this was not good enough for other seekers of truth out there.
Seekers, true sages.
I'm picturing the like VP, the head, the CEO, or whatever it is at Tootsie Roll, Tootsie Pop, being like, we posed the question, and now we gotta shell out all this grant money in order to figure out the answer, because we don't fucking know.
Yeah, this is why we became CEOs.
Here's my thing. This gets better as the story goes on. So there's another university, and I'm probably gonna butcher the name, but it's like Bellarmine University. They did a study with 130 participants, and they were recording their findings based on like color of Tootsie Pop, gender of participants, left-handed, right-handed, ambidextrous. It is like the most researched thing that I have ever seen in my life, and it's ridiculous.
I feel like this is more researched than most of the studies that they tell us about on the evening news, right? Like those studies that are just like, coffee, is it good or bad? Who will ever know? But like Tootsie Roll, Tootsie Pop, CEO Limited definitely has the data to back up what they know.
Yeah, like
coffee. We did this in 30 minutes, but it's science.
It's I guess. Question mark.
I'm imagining like this student who goes into this office and it's like, "What do you want to do your thesis on?" And he pushes up his glasses and everything turns into anime. And he's like, "The Tootsie Roll question."
So, anyways, I'll give you guys a chance to guess. What do you think the average amount of licks for this study required?
I mean,
I feel like anything I say is just going to be wrong.
I feel like,
that's what I've found in my studies.
In wonderful line with how just raunchy this entire thing has been, whether it means to be or not, I'm gonna say 690.
Wow.
You'd be close at 175 licks, approximately.
not even close at all.
Wow,
not actually close.
You would be very close if very close meant very far away.
I should have just picked 69. That would have been even closer.
That would have actually been closer.
So now the craziest thing about this is that
it gets better.
You have all these. It gets so much better.
Would you say the plot thickens?
Yeah, the plot does indeed thicken. So you have all these like scholarly university. I don't know if they're scholarly or not, but all these universities that are taking a crack at like solving the mystery. So a junior high decided to jump into the mix. Swarthmore Junior High.
Sounds fake.
I'm not sure where it's located. I could probably do a quick. I almost called it a Jujul search.
Yeah,
a quick Google search
on the Juge.
But Swarthmore Junior High got in on this, and they had an average of 144 licks.
See,
to reach the center.
I was expecting more. I was like, these young adolescent people, like.
So this is my
so
thinking.
Full of youth and vitality.
Yeah, this is my thinking based on just what we've presented so far. Because these are college students, right, that have been partaking in this, but then we get junior high students that are doing it much faster, at least 30 licks faster, and I'm just thinking that the exuberance of youth, right, is just them like, oh my fucking god, I need to get to the center of the Tootsie Pop as fast as I can for science, right? And so it's like, my whole thought is that we need top scientists to get into this, right? So that's where
from like NASA, like I don't even care if they don't have a degree pertaining to this. Like some guys, like, I've been studying stars my whole life, and we just like hand him everything that he needs to conduct the Tootsie Pop study, and he's just like, I don't understand. We're like, use your big brain.
I'm imagining someone's like picking up the red phone, dialing in, and is like, Dr. Fauci, we need you off the coronavirus. We need you on the the Tootsie Pop thing, stat.
He's like, I study viruses, Jesus Christ.
So to unravel an even deeper conspiracy here, not even a conspiracy, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. In 2015, at New York University, a group of scientists who study water currents and water dynamics and things of that nature placed, I guess, the Tootsie Roll Pop and other various lollipops in cylinders of water, like water tunnels.
Okay.
That so they could accurately control the flow of the water and things of that nature. I need you guys to really dig deep and think of how many licks it took for these things to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Tootsie Pop.
See, my dude, I think most of my brain power at this point is being taken up like trying to figure out how more manpower has been put into this collectively, and like
over centuries.
Yeah, like just over like a period of just like the last century, and has been put into like solving homelessness.
Yeah, like, okay, the way my brain is working is it's like, yes, we here at the United States, we put a man on the moon, and then we decided we need to figure out how many licks it takes to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop. Like, yeah, that's like, logical.
Like, there was no in between those two things. It was like, man on the moon, how many licks does it take? And everyone else was just like, yeah, but what about civil rights? And they're like, yeah, but how many licks, though?
But we need to get to the bottom of this mystery.
JFK is just in the Oval Office being like, all right, we put a man on the moon. There's nothing else left to do. I guess we'll figure out, how many licks it takes, right?
And, like, all of his advisors were standing around, too. They were, like, shaking hands, being like, we do it that. Great question, Mr. President.
We did it.
But
I will double down.
So throw out a number.
I will double down on 690. I'm guessing the same number this time.
I don't think it's going to be right.
Fair. Got it. Megan?
You know, I think since Zach is highballing, I'm going to lowball, and I'll say 169.
Okay. You want to hear the craziest shit ever?
Yup.
Yeah.
2,500.
The fuck? There's so many different variables. Like, it's so skewed.
I feel uncomfortable with the amounts of information that's being foisted upon me.
Foisted.
Foisted.
Here's the thing. As soon as you said that they put it in water tubes, I automatically was like, it's not going to be right. Because how moist do you think a mouth is, scientists? Come on.
It's like a hydraulic, pressurized.
Sorry
We're
that my
bringing
mouth
it
isn't a
back to
water
your-
faucet. Blah.
Yeah, we're bringing it back to your point earlier of that's swallowing, and that's against the rules of science for this particular experiment.
The rules of science say you can't swallow.
Yeah, you.
I think submerging a Tootsie Roll Pop in water negates any of your experiments, even if you're controlling the flow of water to like the centralized part of a Tootsie Roll Pop, right? And also 2,500 licks, I feel like you would have licked through the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop and got into China on the other end by then.
Okay, but like also you're saying the way this experiment is running, I'm just imagining, and it makes me just think of that one asshole kid who got a Tootsie Pop and was like, I don't like grape flavored. Stuck it under the faucet and just waited for that bitch to turn into a Tootsie Roll. Like, no, you gotta work for that shit.
He's like, I'm looking for the treasure.
Yeah.
So one of the things that was done in that one study, which was the 130 participants, they did take into account the flavors.
Okay.
I'll go back to that article quickly. They found that orange is
An abomination.
fastest for people to get through because it is one of the favorable flavors.
Oh, see, 'cause I was thinking it's the worst one to get through.
Like definitely that's a chore. Okay, that's the one that you stick under the pressurized faucet and it takes 2,000 licks.
Yeah, at that point,
Okay,
I'm just
so
like
here-
holding out my tongue and like rubbing it vigorously
Yeah,
to get through.
it's like SpongeBob when he tries Gary's food, and
So
that's the
I'm
face.
just gonna say that you guys are both wrong because if you don't fuck with orange, I don't fuck with you.
Okay, but like, we need to settle this now. On the count of 3, everyone say your favorite flavor of Tootsie Pop.
No, that's too much pressure, Zach, because honestly, I can't remember the last time I had a Tootsie Pop, and I'm gonna blank. I'm gonna say a color that doesn't exist.
Okay, but all the colors exist. It's the United States. We make a shit ton of Tootsie Pops, A. And B, if you say the wrong color, I haven't had a Tootsie Pop in forever. I won't know.
Listen, because you want to know the first thing that came to my head when you were like, name your favorite flavor, and all I could think of was colors, and I was like, porridge.
So we're just gonna make it easy. Okay, the original flavors.
Yeah, please narrow this down.
Were cherry, orange, raspberry, chocolate, and grape.
Okay.
So of those flavors, I think you can count us down, Zach, and we'll say our favorite.
1, 2, 3. Chocolate.
Raspberry.
Cherry was obviously the best flavor, and anyone who doesn't fuck with cherry can get the
Okay, you are definitely siding with the 2 worst flavors right now, but like...
Okay.
Agreed.
Look.
So, here's the thing.
I guess I can't fault you, but cherry and orange are the best flavors that exist of almost any candy.
Yeah, but like you're mixing chocolate with that. That's the thing you got to think about. Like I personally go with the chocolate lollipop because it doesn't taste like real chocolate, but I know if I bite down because I'm an impatient asshole, I'm gonna still get chocolate. It's a consistent.
But yeah, I guess that's the thing is that it doesn't taste like chocolate. It tastes like Tootsie Roll. And you're going for a Tootsie Roll in the middle of it. So, like, when you bite down, you're like, the lollipop tastes exactly like the Tootsie Roll.
Yeah.
For me, I did enjoy them as a sucker, I guess. So, for me, it was like a pretty all-around, I get to enjoy the flavors of orange and cherry, and then I get a Tootsie Roll after. I don't know.
So, like, ultimately, what did they do with all of this information?
Literally nothing.
Oh, okay. Good.
I cannot stress enough that far more resources have been put into, like, what I am looking at right now, Megan, is a research document with all of the necessary statistics to make this, like, a valid research paper. This is 5 pages of all of their results, and it is sickening to me that college students are taking their time to do this.
I mean, honestly,
so like
I've heard of some weird research stuff. I think if you're gonna research anything, this is a necessary question. I mean, like, the physics of a monster truck?
Yeah.
Not necessary, but how many licks does it take?
Right.
That's actually, I need to know. I kind of
Honestly,
need to know.
So what
it's
you're
like
what you're saying is, no matter which path to research you begin with, it should always start with how many licks did it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Tootsie Pop.
I guarantee that the kids who questioned that when they were young are now the ones who are working at NASA. I'll bet my last dollar on it.
They're the ones making
asking
six figures.
They're right. They're asking the right questions.
It is also important to note that the people who did this study are sick in the head for multiple reasons, but because they used images, obviously, to display the candy wrappers and all that. At the bottom of their data, it says candy wrapper and images were taken from Bing.com. So I'm not sure if we can even trust the results of this study.
The whole thing has been debunked.
Scrap it all. Scrap it all. Start from square one. We gotta get the licking machine out of the closet. You used Bing images.
Yeah, dude.
So,
like,
I'll say that I think it's really interesting. I do think that age is a factor too, because like kids will go through it faster because they'll just be like, "Oh, my little tongue can go for days." And college students are obviously more practiced in. Anyways,
So the thing is, like, I'm taking it from the perspective of that youthful exuberance has yet to be snuffed out, and you are not terribly depressed about everything. So you are like, "Oh, lollipop, yes, please," instead of oh shit, I guess it's gonna get me $150, right? Like, there's two different mindsets.
Everyone's actually the real study was what will people do of all ages for $150.
I don't know if I want to see the results of that one.
But this is like, this immediately brought to mind, like, to me it just sounds like a fucking Family Guy sketch where it's like just one of those breaks from reality where it's just like, yes, and you just see guys in white lab coats like standing there licking, like, again, not to harp on this whole point, but like at a certain point you just see these guys that are licking, and you just see the head researcher sort of go, "You're sucking, Johnson, you're sucking, and we know it."
I'm just imagining like a Fallout vault where just Vault Tech does nothing but stock all the supplies closets with just Tootsie Pops, and it's like, bitch, we're gonna figure this out.
Until
we have until the end of time.
We have the nuclear fallout in order to say, how many licks does it take to get to the center? We're boy as hell gonna find out. What
a dystopian YA novel that we just discovered the plot to.
What do we even call it? To the center?
It's not Journey to the Center of the Earth. Journey to the Center of the Pop.
Excellent.
So that was my story.
Oh, that was good.
Does anybody else have?
I was gonna say, I think that's a good transition from sweets to more sweets, because are you familiar with the relationship between Pepsi Cola and the USSR?
I feel like in my junior year of high school, my history teacher vaguely alluded to this, but please regale us.
I'm going to be super, super honest and say that I know that it's not the USSR right now, but like, I will find a way to tie this in with just how sweet Putin's dick must be.
That's the much worse, like, Russian version of the Tootsie Pop test.
Whoa.
Okay. Anyway, so all this whole shenanigan starts in 1959 when President Eisenhower sends the then Vice President, "I'm not a crook," Nixon, to the USSR to basically whip out his dick and say, "Capitalism rules, communism rules," right?
Yeah, as you do.
Nixon, of course, naturally, because Nixon and Soviet leader Khrushchev, I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
That sounds right. Why not?
Khrushchev, yeah, get into like this big heated argument, and Donald M. Kendall, who was just like this, up and coming executive at Pepsi, steps in the middle and goes, whoa, tense situation, guys. I know you're both leaders, and this is a big moment, but want to know what makes tense situations better? That's right, an ice cold Pepsi.
And then he
God.
turns to the camera and he takes the
my
sip.
God, he's Kendall Jenner.
Oh no! We're gonna go over that later. That's a whole other thing. So Donald M. Kendall gives Khrushchev
he's even got her name.
Bottle of Pepsi, and like it seems insane that this would be like the thing that would calm down the USSR. And that's nuts if it weren't for the USSR having a collective mouthgasm for Pepsi Cola. So,
what a weakness.
American apple pie.
Right? Years later, Russia is like trying to make a deal that would get Pepsi into the country permanently. Problem is, no one gives a shit about the ruble. So, because it's like null and void in every other part that is not a Soviet state. So, initially, they bought all the Pepsi they could by trading for it with, guess what?
Please.
Cocaine and hookers.
No, lots of vodka.
Oh, yeah.
So they just start exporting vodka directly to Pepsi Cola and being like, all right, give us the cola, we'll give you the booze.
I just imagine it's like two pipelines that are going like the opposite way, right?
One's clear, one's brown, and we're just going one after the other.
Yeah.
Under the sea or something?
Yeah, right next to like the transatlantic cable. Right?
Yeah, I was going to say, like, fuck it, we're just going to send a Pepsi Cola pipeline off the coast of Alaska.
Yeah.
So
that sounds like something America would do.
Yeah, it is. But okay, it gets wilder. So fast forward to, the late 80s. And apparently vodka wasn't good enough for Pepsi anymore because the United States boycotted any Soviet products because the Cold War.
I mean, I guess.
How do you imagine... Okay, so how do you imagine that conversation went? Like, the heads of Pepsi having to call...
God, like an awkward breakup.
Like, look. We love the vodka. And honestly, if it were up to us, we would keep accepting it, but the Cold War.
Yeah, like, someone's on the phone like, man.
On the other side, just like, we totally understand.
It's the equivalent of Pepsi Cola being like, look, we can't date you because my parents hate you.
Yeah, right. Like I can't bring you over. I can't bring you over to Thanksgiving because you don't know what that is, and like
I'm trying to sneak out of the house to see you, but it's just not working. My parents have locked all the windows. They bolted them. So how does Russia get their precious soft drink into the country again? I don't know. Why not trade Pepsi for a fleet of submarines and boats?
Oh my fucking God. Is this story?
What a power move.
And I have heard this story.
And the rights for Pepsi Cola also set up a couple of Pizza Huts inside Soviet Russia, but that's a whole other deal. So Pepsi Cola is given a literal armada, which includes 17 submarines, a cruiser, a frigate, and a destroyer, which originally was just supposed to be some oil tankers that Pepsi could rent out. But anyway, so there is $3 billion worth of Pepsi Cola traded for all this stuff, which Pepsi Cola, the one who sponsors NFL halftime shows, they became the 6th largest navy in the world in the late 80s.
Okay, so I have seen this story so many times, like browsing Reddit or Imager or any of those other like websites.
But you think it's fake?
And well, no. The funny thing is, like, because of the culture that we're in, I look at it and I go, "Huh, that's fucking weird," and I don't bother to dig any further.
But once you dig, you're like, "What the actual fuck?"
Well, I think
Wait a
like
minute.
the interesting thing with this story is, you know, if they had been trading them like vodka, that makes sense. They can turn around and sort of sell that, or they can give it away, or like if they were,
They can add it to Pepsi.
yeah, they could add it to the Pepsi, you know, for a little bit,
Yeah.
for like some, you know, adult things or whatever. But like,
Pepsi after dark.
What are you
Yeah,
gonna do with
for
$3
Pepsi.
billion worth of warships? I
yeah,
don't
but like,
know.
what do you do? Like, do you deliver Pepsi Cola? Like, now Pepsi Cola more aggressive and at your door faster than ever.
No,
like-
you know what you do? You know what you do with Pepsi Cola? You get three.
Load Pepsi Cola up in a torpedo
Yeah,
and you
and then
shoot it at.
No,
You start killing blue whales with it. Like
you,
what?
you get your $3 billion worth of armada, and you roll up to wherever Coca-Cola is, and you just pop that hatch, and you go, "Give me secret formula."
Yeah, no, that's a power move.
Fuck it! If you're gonna go full on, you go full on.
Can you imagine though if they like started rocking up to smaller countries, like because they're the sixth largest navy in the
sixth
world?
largest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they just like start rocking up to the coasts of like, I don't know, Australia, and they're just
Yeah.
like, this is ours now, and Australia's like, what?
You're a you're a soft drink.
You're a soft
company.
drink
Pepsi
company.
Cola just takes over Madagascar for nothing but a production plant. It's just like, yes, all of you, put out more Pepsi Cola.
Yeah, like they got the lemurs in the factories, like
The
just
lemurs are like running the cola.
yeah,
They're like
they're
packing the boxes.
delivering it to people, and everyone's like, "Wow, Pepsi Cola's delivery people are really strange nowadays."
I would say that would completely alter the 2015 film Madagascar.
It would. Like, you'd have lemur Postmates.
Yeah, it's just the
Yeah.
lemurs. It's just the lemurs trying to get off the island to like improve their production capabilities.
Yeah,
Sorry, I apologize. Madagascar was made in 2005, not 2015.
we'll forgive it. But yeah, like,
got
that's
my
the whole
wires.
thing. Like, screw it,
Unforgivable, honestly.
we don't have DoorDash, we have Lemur Dash. Like, this is
Yeah,
the thing.
lemur dash.
But so this is also the fact that Russia gave them so much just for like soda, essentially. It has been attributed that people have said that Pepsi Cola did a better job of disarming Russia than the United States in general did.
Honestly,
I do feel like there could. Okay, so here's my thought with this whole process, right? So we're in the middle of the Cold War, and then you have like that whole situation happen. I honestly feel like Pepsi held so many fucking poker chips that they could have gone to Khrushchev and been like, "Hey, bud, you end this Cold War thing right now. We will send you unlimited amounts of Pepsi for the rest of your natural days on this earth."
Yeah, so
And he probably would have said yes.
I mean, I don't know. My Soviet history is a little rocky. But like Khrushchev was
And Bullwinkle?
Soviet leader in 1959. I don't know if he was there late 80s. I don't think so.
you know what?
Well,
That's an excellent question.
no.
I'm not gonna lie. The last
probably
time I even looked at Soviet history was like freshman year in college.
I'm honestly, why the heck do I not know this? It was Gorbachev.
Of course it
Was Gorbachev. Like if I'm thinking about it logically, it was definitely Gorbachev.
But I'd imagine that Gorbachev also loved Pepsi.
I also would imagine that Gorbachev got rock hard for Pepsi.
They were just
Except
rock
because
hard.
if he didn't, why then in the Cold War era would a fleet of ships be sent to Pepsi?
I imagine
unless Gorbachev was sitting at his office using Pepsi as lube.
I was gonna say no. I imagine that Gorbachev had Crystal Pepsi dick.
No, that makes
rock
sense.
hard. It was Crystal Pepsi hard.
It's
Not
honestly
just rock.
really amazing though, because like they're in the middle of the Cold War, right? Like
Yeah.
they're Russia and the States are arming to the teeth. Like they are seeing how fast they can get weapons. And meanwhile, the USSR is just like, dude, how are we gonna get this Pepsi? I don't care. Just give give them whatever they want. They want battleships, give it to them because we need that sweet, sweet nectar, brother.
We need that good brown stuff. Like, I want to know what, like, insane person in the Pepsi boardroom They're like sitting there scrambling, being like, oh man, we had such a great export to Russia, and now we can't because like they moved weapons to Afghanistan, and now the U.S. is like, no, bad Russia, and we can't do shit about it. And then this one guy in the corner just like raises his hand and is like, what if we got some battleships?
Like he's just like slowly, and they're just like, God damn it, Daniel, you're a genius.
Yeah, like he's just some guy in the corner and is like, F9 battleships. Like what the like? How? Why is that?
Yeah, they're like,
Okay.
Daniel, why would we do that?
but-
He's like, in subs.
But picture the other side of that coin, right? So like you've got all these Soviets that have been getting fed this beautiful, beautiful brown liquid for years, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, we've lost our ability to have the Pepsi Cola. How do we get them back? And it's like, again, like a group of people just sitting in a room, and one raises his hand, and guy just points and he goes, Victor, yes. And he says, what if we give battleships?
Yeah, like, I imagine it's just Gorbachev in this place like, oh my god, we're losing control of populace because they're going crazy for Pepsi Cola. We no longer have it. We can't give them beautiful lie. And Victor in the background is like, but we can't give Pepsi Cola battleship. Like,
But we can give them a fleet of submarines.
And then it's like the kombucha girl meme, where she's just like, maybe.
maybe. Yeah, like, it's...
And then that maybe swiftly turned into a yes, and then, one thing leads to another, and suddenly Pepsi Cola is the 6th largest navy in the world.
This was the worst game of improv yes and that has ever occurred.
Well, it really depends on what side you're on, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I think it's the best game of improv ever.
They're just spitballing ideas, and it's like, okay, go with me here. We give Pepsi Cola a number of battleships, and then Gorbachev is just, yes, and
yeah, and then
some submarines to go along with them.
Yes, and also Pizza Hut.
and they just they start getting more excited about it, and I picture someone comes in from the background, has to interrupt it, be like, guys,
we gotta stop.
we have to stop. We are not going to have any navy after this. And they're just like, no, you're right.
You're right.
Can I ask,
more battleship.
is Pepsi the parent company of Pizza Hut?
Yeah, I
Or
think
were they
so. Or it's at
were
least
they
like
just
Pepsi is the big one inside Pizza Hut. So Pepsi might have
so
been
it's
doing
like-
hey, but you help me and I
This
help my
is-
friend.
Yeah, this is the funniest thing ever, because I'm just picturing Pepsi roping in Pizza
Yeah,
Hut.
Pizza Hut just
Where
shows up at
it's
the door at some Pizza Hut's the weird Nebish kid who's just like, I guess I'll join the Soviet Union too.
Okay, so my biggest question after listening to that whole story is, how did that resolve?
Yeah,
okay.
they're not the 6th
Does
largest
Pepsi
navy
still have-
anymore.
They're not. So
And
Pepsi
that
Cola,
we know of.
after the Soviet Union started falling apart, the Soviet Union was like, we're just gonna seize all of your factories, Pepsi. Thanks for the good lols, but we're taking all your shit.
Along and thanks for all the fish.
Thanks for all the fun and the fuzzy brown stuff, but we're taking your crap. And then Pepsi was like, well, now I have no idea what to do with this fleet of submarines and a destroyer. What am I gonna do? And it didn't occur to them to just load the cannons with Pepsi Cola and have at the USSR, so they sold all the boats to Sweden for scrap.
Legitimately, I think that the best idea would have been for them to fill a torpedo cannon full of Pepsi. This is my thought, okay? I'm a Pepsi executive. I'm given a submarine. I am immediately filling one of those torpedo pods with as much Pepsi Cola as I can and seeing what land mass I can damage the most with.
That's what I'm saying.
torpedo.
Honestly, what I'd be doing is, at this point, launching one into the stratosphere and being like, we're the first soft drink in space. Done. Nailed it.
We're the first soft drink in
Future
space.
aliens will find
Aliens
Pepsi
will enjoy
Cola.
Pepsi Cola. It might be flat by the time it gets to Pluto, but we were there first.
Do you ever, when you hear about things in history, pinpoint a moment where you're like, oh, this is where like timelines diverged. I feel as though like when Pepsi didn't make the decision to take over Russia, like
Well, that's the reason we're in the darkest timeline.
yeah, like I feel as though the world could have been even more dystopian than it is now.
Absolutely. I do want to backtrack for 1 second just to say that Pepsi Cola had the OG and best distracted boyfriend meme moment ever.
Oh
where it
my
was like
god.
it was like be a successful soft drink company or the 6th largest navy in the world. And it's just Pepsi Cola.
Did we just take over a nation? Is that what we're doing now?
Yeah,
I mean,
like someone had to hold them back because you know someone in the board meeting was just like, maybe, and someone's like, Jonathan, no, we told you already that wasn't gonna be a thing.
So here's the thing. Donald M. Kendall, who was the one who broke up the fight between Nixon and Khrushchev and was like, Khrushchev, chill out with a refreshing Pepsi, later becomes the CEO of Pepsi Cola.
Okay, why was he not already the CEO as soon as he got...
As soon as he closed that deal, as soon as he was like, by the way, we have it in the USSR.
Okay, so, but it cannot be understated enough. What's his name?
Donald M. Kendall. Kendell.
Yeah, Kendall Jenner.
Different spelling.
No! Doesn't matter.
So what you're saying
is... He was reborn in the form of Kendall Jenner so that he could bring peace to the world.
Oh, no.
With a nice, cold,
refreshing
bottle
Pepsi.
Of Pepsi Cola.
Yeah, like Kendall Jenner had in the back of her mind where it was a different life before she was Kendall Jenner.
Yeah,
like,
she was...
I remember this one time I solved world politics with Pepsi.
Oh my god, it's worked once.
And then she
worked once, I can do it again.
She founded a makeup line, and she was just like, I'm gonna solve North Korea.
Now I'm a billionaire.
But I'm not really a billionaire. Just kidding. But am I?
Scottie Pippen is, no, who is it? It's not Scottie Pippen. It's, fuck, who's Kim Jong-un's favorite?
No, it's fucking. Oh my god.
Wait, finish your thought. What is it?
The dude who plays basketball with Kim
Jong.
Is
Rodman.
Super. Yes,
Dennis Rodman.
There we go. I was thinking of Scottie Pippen for some reason.
I don't know
because that name's just delightful to say.
It is.
I guess.
Dennis Rodman's whack, but like also I feel like he'd be some great content for this.
Dennis Rodman is going to be the reason he's going to be like the 25th largest navy when Kim Jong-un eventually gives him a fleet.
Yeah, Kim Jong-un's going to be like, here's the present for playing basketball with me. It's a battleship.
Here's 2 battleships and like 3 destroyers, making you the 26th largest navy in the world.
Okay, but here's the thing. I believe that Dennis Rodman would shoot Pepsi Cola from the ships if he could.
Oh, 100%.
For sure.
100%.
Yeah.
He has nothing to lose.
It would be like a Mr. Deeds moment where he puts the fruit punch in the water fountain.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh my god, I'm getting fruit punch." Dennis Rodman would be like, "I can shoot fucking Pepsi Cola out of these torpedoes."
Yeah, like it's the point where it's like enough fuck you money to just be like, why not? And I got a free battleship.
And I got this free battleship.
So anyway, I got this submarine.
So anyway, I bet you're wondering how I got here.
It's just like
it's one of those record scratch moments.
Yeah, it's a record scratch early 90s movie where it's like, anyway, so I bet you're wondering how I became the 6th largest navy in the world.
And then it's just
That's me negotiating a truce between Nixon and Khrushchev. I bet you're wondering how I got here. Stay tuned, and I'll tell you all about it.
Well, it's been a wild ride. Oh, all right. I can't take this anymore.
No, I think that's so my story has like 0 segue, but I think you guys will.
Want to know what's hard? Segues.
Yeah, there we go. You want to know what's hard? Segues. And here we go. So my story is is about the super wrestling princess Utian, and she was born in 1260, and she was the great granddaughter of Genghis Khan. By the time she was born, the Mongol Empire was starting to fray, and civil war was pretty much imminent. And but she was like the favorite of her father, who was in charge of the Khanate. And so she was like taught to ride, to shoot, and all the other trappings of like a nomadic lifestyle. She was like a pretty robust lady. And her dad actually went to her all the time to talk about politics and how to govern instead of like her 14 other brothers. So when she got old enough to marry, yeah,
Imagine being the 14 other brothers.
it's like,
And it's
hey,
just
dad.
like, hey, Dad, do you feel like giving me any attention? And he's just like, no, fuck off.
Yeah, he's just like,
I'm gonna go
Fuck
talk to
off. Where's your
youngest
sister?
where's your sister? And she's just over there. She's just like, hey, what do you need, Dad? She's like on a horse.
Imagine Thanksgiving with that so Dad, I started my own startup, and he's like, fuck off. What are you doing? And just points at the sister, and she's like, well,
It's literally that scene from Step Brothers where it's like, shut up. What's Derek doing?
What's Derek doing? So she, when she got to be marriageable age, her father was just like, you got to get married. And she was like, you know what? I will get married, but here's the deal. If a man comes and wants to court me, he has to beat me in a wrestling match. And if he can't beat me in a wrestling match, he owes me 100 horses.
So what you're saying is this woman literally was like, the cream always rises to the top, and if you're gonna come for me, you gotta come with 100 horses to beat me, Macho Man Randy Savage style.
Dude, like pretty much, because this lady ended up with 10,000 horses and no husband.
I can't.
I think that's better.
I can't even. Okay, here's my thing.
10,000 horses!
Right? So the upkeep for 10,000 horses. I'm going to do a little bit of research, so I apologize to any listeners.
Oh, no, because let me...
don't love the ASMR.
Let me finish really quick.
Okay.
Because we're not done.
A
dude that was a pretty decent guy. Like, this is probably after she has beaten, like, a couple dozen people in pure unadulterated wrestling, right? This guy comes up, like, we don't really know his name, but like her parents loved him. They're like, hey, he's a really decent guy. Why don't you like throw this match? And she's like, maybe. So the guy was like really sure that he was going to beat her to the point where he bet 1,000 horses. And her parents thought she was going to throw the match, but she walked away from that match 1,000 horses richer.
Jesus. So she ended up with 11,000 horses.
She ended up with more horses than any one person or country should have.
So, like, I'm imagining, like, this thing starts and everyone's like, she's gonna throw it, she's gonna finally do it, she's gonna finally settle down, this is gonna be great, we can get her out of the house. And she's just, like, about to, like, looks in, gets ready, this guy thinks he's totally got it. She lets him have, like, a few seconds of pride before she just, well, bam, whaps him to the ground.
Yeah,
he
just
chokes
like
him out with a triangle choke and is like, no, my pride is more important than a husband ever will be.
And she's like, man, I could have a husband and a family life, but god damn it, do I love horses! And then just like breaks his neck.
Just snaps his neck and it's like, once a horse girl, always a horse girl.
Always a horse girl, never turn back. Like, looks her dad in the eye and is just like, I'm so sorry, and then just kills this dude.
Just snaps his neck, jumps up 1 foot on the saddle of 2 different horses, and rides off into the sunset.
Yeah, she has like a whole herd behind her.
So I'm just going to say this, and I'm not like doing a deep dive or anything, because it really doesn't warrant that much of So I just looked up an article about like the cost of owning a horse, right?
Yeah.
In modern day America, I'd assume. I hope that this isn't an article from the 1950s, but it has links to share it on Facebook, so I'm assuming that it's not. The average annual cost, according to this article, for owning a horse is $3,876 per year.
Okay.
Assuming that nothing medically goes batshit with the horse. That times 11,000 though is 42,636,000. Nope, that's million. That's 42
Oh,
million.
that's 42 million.
That's 42,636,000. Sorry,
annually.
Annually.
Oh.
Okay, but like,
Okay.
so that's crazy
here's the thing.
to think about.
I don't know how much a horse is worth, but I'm imagining if you had 11,000 horses, even back in those days, it would net you a pretty penny. So, like, I guarantee, yeah, the whole thing was the issue was Civil War was going on. I mean, you could just buy a country at that point.
Honestly,
Okay,
though, like, she just outfitted her whole army, like, to fight the
Right.
Civil War.
Even better.
The question that I have though is, where do you keep them?
My question is, why wasn't she the one who was the head of Pepsi Cola when they got battleships?
Oh yeah, dude, right? So then, not only are they like a naval power, they're also a land power. Like, bring on the cavalry.
Cavalry
Oh my God.
ended?
Could you imagine 11,000 horses charging over hills as you're getting fired on by Pepsi?
Yeah, and all the
torpedoes?
horses' asses are branded with like the Pepsi Cola logo.
It's just mortars of Pepsi raining down.
Yeah, dude, it's
awful.
It's honestly, I read that like her parents wanted her to throw that match, and she walked away 1,000 horses richer, and I was just like, what a power move. Honestly.
Yeah, like,
what
honestly,
a fucking power move.
I feel like I would have been more disappointed if she did throw the match. Like, would you throw the match? Would anyone throw the match? No.
I would too.
No, truly, I would not. I would not throw any of these matches.
I would not throw any of these matches, especially like if someone's going to be cocky about it.
Yeah, no, I do really love the whole aspect of, like, you know, her parents are like, this guy seems really, really nice. He shows up and he's like, you're gonna like me so much, I will bet 1,000 fucking horses. She's like, yeah, no, I'm gonna fucking wreck you in the ring right now. Like, strap up, boy. Here we go.
Yeah. Dude shows up in the Mongolian equivalent of, like, sweatpants and, like, fucking, like, tank top and is like, yeah, brah, you're gonna love me.
He's a frat bro.
He's a frat bro, and it's just like, no.
I am loving... so in media depictions of like one-sided fights, right? Like you see the two squaring up and both of them look like equally beefy, so on and so forth, and then it's just ended with one punch. I love the idea of this guy stepping into the wrestling ring and this woman just bodies him with one hit or like one move, and he's just done, and everyone who thought he was supposed to be this like really good fit for their princess is just like, oh fuck.
And then like
he would have made an awful ruler.
Like the whole like court is just staring at her open mouthed, and then she just like summons a horse.
It's kind of like that scene from Brave where she's like really good at archery and no one really expects that, except all of these people expected it because they've watched her destroy people.
Yeah, right.
I'm imagining the scene in the, the Sherlock Holmes movie with Robert Downey Jr., where he's like in the fighting ring and he like takes a second, pauses, breaks down this whole fight, does it in a second.
And then you see it unfold.
You see it unfold, it happens, and then not only that, but he collects his winnings, takes a drink, and is like, yup, I fucking knew it.
Yeah, that was just her entire life. So eventually, like, she did get married, because there were slanderous rumors about her having an incestuous relationship with her father, which were unfounded. But the dude that she married did not beat her in wrestling.
So how did he win her hand?
I think she just settled down. I think she just like realized that the competition that she was holding was causing more problems than it was solving for
Well,
her.
yeah, at $42 million a year to raise a horse.
She eventually realized she didn't have enough room on her walls to hang the WWE Championship belts that she was collecting.
She didn't have enough room on her yurt walls for like all of the pictures of all of her horses. Like
This is like, but this is my thing though. I really like, I picture her as like as a star athlete in some sort of sport, and all of a sudden she's like sidelined with an ACL tear, and she's just like, fuck, I can't keep wrestling people because my doctors say no. I guess I'll just settle down.
Yeah, you know, I guess I'll just like get married.
I have to imagine that for whoever married her too, it's sort of like this extremely hollow victory. Like I feel like the dude that brought 1,000 horses, right, is he's just like, if I win, this is epic. If I don't, like, she gets 1,000 more horses, right? But I feel like anyone else who then goes to seek out this woman, and she's just like, yeah, I'll marry you because people think I'm fucking my dad, and I tore my ACL last season, and I can't wrestle anymore.
It's just like really fucked me up a whole lot.
My senior year of high school, and I tore my ACL.
How am I going to take care of these 11,000 horses?
How am I going to pay for these 11,000 horses if I can't compete in the Olympics? So I just picture it being like a super hollow victory for the guy that eventually like took her to bed.
See,
yeah, because like, can
you say that, and the important part is the to bed part, because did she have any children?
So she kind of slides into obscurity after she gets married.
Because here's the thing. I think that she didn't have any kids for the one reason that she fucking put that ring up and is like, you want to get in this? You gotta beat me.
Oh, yeah, she, like, never consummated it, right?
Never consummated because she's like, the only way I get turned on is if you can beat me.
Oh,
so
my
fucking
God.
Square up, bitch.
Yeah, every single day she just has him in the ring being like, I don't know, is today a day? And he's just, like, sweating.
Is today the day you finally get to come? We'll find out.
He just sheepishly walks into the yurt and he's like, darling, we've not consummated our relationship yet. And she's like, and we fucking won't until you can put me on my back for a 3 count, buddy.
When I get the 3 count and you stop being a little bitch, we can finally do this.
I know, right, dude? Like,
oh,
she was considered one of the last great nomadic, like, warrior princesses, too. Which
I fucking wonder why.
Oh, yeah, because, like, she's beaten every known person. God.
Yeah, all of my suitors have tried to fight me, and all of them have lost. I have now settled for Daryl, who is really good at accounting.
He's very good at accounting.
He's very good. He can account for the number of stupid amount of horses that I have.
By Jeff Bezos level of horse upkeep.
He can account for just how many bags of feed I've needed to buy.
It's too many, honestly.
I mean, 100 horses was too many. 11,000 is...
See, because at that point, you have to keep conquering lands. Just because you're deforesting areas real quick. Like, I got 11,000 horses that are in one spot. There's no grass left.
Does it say how she used the horses, or did she maintain, like, did she keep horses for...
Nope. It just, it just says, well, I mean, the Mongols were a nomadic, like, horse riding people. It is what they used as their primary vehicle for battle. So what I assume happened was she acquired all these horses. She was a princess. She was in on, like, the battle meetings and political, like, meetings, right? And
could you imagine being castrated by your fucking daughter in that way, right? Like, you're fucking planning a war, and it's like, so we'll take these horses and we'll attack here, and the daughter's just like there with a nail file, and she's like, not my horses, not these people.
Yeah, right. She's like Peppa Pig,
Father, you're certainly not talking about
you know,
using any
Sunflower.
of my horses.
She like names them all.
Oh,
the
she named
horse,
all of them.
like
Every
you know,
single one, and it's all unique. All
yeah,
unique
Sunflower Glittershine doesn't like the Mongolian steppes, and you know that.
names. Excuse me, but Moonbeam will not be a part of your war.
Yeah, Moonbeam is
Oh.
a gentle soul.
Daffodil? You think you're going to ride Daffodil into battle?
Daffodil is a
Fuck off.
pacifist.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Daffodil is a pacifist.
Oh.
That's such it's a precious name.
It is
It's
It is a precious name.
I'm also sorry if my audio spiked there. But
I think everyone's did. I think on that note, though, I think we have wrestled this
We're at an
topic
hour.
to the ground long enough.
No, I think this was good, and you know what, guys? Thanks for talking, and thanks for joining us.
You know what, all of you? What the fuck, history?